OCD compulsions can be very sneaky and they can hide in ways that we won't be able to spot them as parents.
Mom, are you sure I didn't lie when I said that I've read that chapter?
No, of course not, honey. I saw you read it.
But what if I thought I was reading it, but I was lying?
But I saw you read it. It's fine.
Did you wash my spoon?
Yes, I washed it. I washed it twice.
But with the blue sponge, right? Not the gross one?
No, I washed it with the safe sponge. You're safe. It's fine.
Are you sure I don't look sick?
Yeah, you look fine.
Can you check my temperature one more time?
All right, but just one more time, okay?
I love you. Good night.
Love you.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, love you.
Say see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Say I love you.
Okay, I love you. Unfortunately, no matter how much therapy you get your child or how much you do to help your child with their OCD, as long as you're doing compulsions disguised as reassurance, your child's OCD will grow worse, not better. We're going to talk all about it. That's what's up next. Reassurance is one of those very sneaky compulsions where you think you're talking to your child, you think you're helping your child, and you're actually talking to OCD and you're growing OCD bigger. And so the difference is your child is wanting a specific response. They're not wanting to process it, explore it, reframe it. They're wanting a specific response. When they don't get it, they will ask for it. They want that specific response. And normally it's not enough in the moment or it's not enough long term. So they keep coming back with the same type of reassurance questions, wanting those specific results again, because you are the metaphorical sink. And so every time you wash and rinse, they feel that relief, but they never feel it enough. So they have to come back and wash and rinse and repeat again. And when we are the metaphorical sink, we are inadvertently participating and partnering with OCD and growing our child's OCD bigger. And none of us want to do that. A big part of OCD is doubt, for many different themes in OCD. And when our kids are feeling those intrusive thoughts and feelings about doubt or about if it's enough, they have just right OCD. Am I a bad person? Did I lie and I forgot it? Did you lock that door? Does this food look okay? Did I say this thing and I forgot that I said it? The doubt is common in a lot of themes. And that reassurance seeking from you is to reduce that feeling of doubt, but it's never enough. And so they're looking for that certainty in your response that you can tell me, because I can't trust my own brain. Because part of what OCD does is it makes people doubt their own thoughts and their own knowledge of what they see or what they know to be true. And so they have to ask you. And the more they use you as that compulsion, the more frequently they're going to use you. And often there's one or two, normally one, and normally it's the mom, but not always, go-to person who is the metaphorical sink. You are the person that is going to feed me that certainty that OCD needs. It will never be enough. I'm going to keep coming back to you over and over again. So you can feel like you're helping your child because you feel like they just want me to support them, or they just want me to talk to them, or they just want to process their OCD. And what you don't realize is that you are just participating in the compulsions that are growing your child's OCD bigger. And we're going to talk about what is the right thing to do in those moments, because it is counterintuitive and it doesn't feel good. And so getting the right response to the scripts that I showed you in the beginning of this video is going to be important. We're going to talk about that in a second. But I first want to help you set up the foundation of what you're going to do with your child before you say the things that we're going to talk about. Because if you don't do these foundational steps to kind of lay the cement, the foundation, it's going to make it even worse. So the first thing that we want to do is talk to our child, teen or young adult, and say, this is OCD. Because just because someone is compulsively reassurance seeking doesn't mean they understand that that is a compulsion. So the first thing that I always do, and I recommend parents do, and the first thing I do with my own kids when they're struggling like this, is I say things like, I'm noticing, I'll just role play it for you. I'm noticing that when you go to bed at night, you always have to say, I love you. And then I notice that you're wanting me to say, I love you too. And then you say, I'll see you in the morning. And if I don't say, I'll see you in the morning as well, you get really upset. And I want to talk about that. That's actually a true example in my house, that we had that compulsive dance that we had to say those things at night. And then when I was exploring that with my child, she said, if you don't say those things, then you might die. Something bad will happen. Now, some of your kids may not be as articulate or insightful, and they may not know that if you don't do this, then this bad thing will happen. Or it may not be a bad thing. Sometimes times OCD can be just a bad feeling. And so you don't have to have that aha in this conversation, but letting them know, I notice that we get on this OCD loop, and I want you to know that reassurance seeking, like you asking me these questions over and over and over and over again, is a compulsion. And so if you haven't explained to them what a compulsion is, we have to start with that. What a compulsion is. What is OCD? I have videos on what is OCD. Educate them on that first. What is OCD? Watch a video. Here's a video on what is OCD. Then the next step is reassurance is a compulsion. And I have a video on that. Here it is. So reassurance is a compulsion. When you're seeking this compulsive reassurance from me, it's also a compulsion that's growing your OCD. That is the first thing. Have them watch this video that I've created for kids and teens on talking to them directly about reassurance seeking and how that is growing their OCD, because they're probably not aware of it. Many of them aren't aware of it. Some of them are. And then the next step is you come up with a plan and you say, this is our plan from now on. When you ask me X, Y, and Z, and be very specific and very clear. And so it might be when you ask me questions about your food and whether it's poisonous, or when you ask me if your hands are clean enough, or when you ask me if you have lied, or when you ask me if I have double locked the doors, or when you ask me if having a bad thought means you're a bad person. Whatever it is, right? Just get the general thing. I'm going to respond like this from now on. And then you say, when I notice it's OCD, I'm going to tell you, I love you. And so I'm not going to answer your OCD right now. And you can even ask them, is there something that you want me to say that would be helpful to you? Most kids aren't going to like this, and they're going to get upset, and they're going to say, it is helping me, and I do need that. They're not going to always see that you are helping them. But I have a script of what to say, and I role played an example of one of the things that I did in the beginning of this video and showed you how I'd respond at the end. So stay tuned and you'll see me role play that. But I do want to do a couple of caveats before you watch that little clip, and that is your child's not going to be happy about this. I just want to say this because a lot of times people will say, Natasha, how do I do this? How do I pull back my reassurance seeking, my child's reassurance seeking or answering their reassurance without them getting really angry, or without them screaming at me, or without them having a meltdown? And the short answer is you can't. Most of them are not going to like this because they're in the throes of OCD and you are a barrier, and they want you to complete the OCD loop. But the more you complete the OCD loop, the stronger those neural pathways grow in their brain, and the stronger OCD gets, and the more reassurance seeking they need to do. So it's this vicious Pandora's box. The more you feed it, the bigger it grows. And so the key through this struggle is to pull back, deal with the explosive, difficult behavior. If you need to create a safety plan, do that, have one in place. But yes, it will be hard before it gets easy. Typically, that behavior extinguishes over time. When you are consistent, you respond in a very consistent way. You don't get hooked in. You'll notice in the role play that I'm going to show you in a minute that I don't get engaged. My child gets angry, we're role playing it so that you know I have a helper in the house who's happy to help other kids with OCD. And I don't get hooked into her anger. I don't respond with my own anger. And that is hard. Stay calm, stick with it, be consistent. And you don't have to do this across the board. You might want to pick a couple of different areas where you are providing that accommodation or enabling of OCD. And you might start small with one small step at a time of, from now on with these particular questions, I'm not answering them. And that can be helpful. But you want to start with educating your child and have them watch the video on how reassurance seeking can be a compulsion, so they understand at least intellectually why that's not a helpful thing. All right, let's watch this role play, same one that we did in the beginning of this video, but with this therapeutic response.
Mom, are you sure I didn't lie when I said that I've read that chapter?
It sounds like your OCD is making you doubt whether you read it.
But what if I thought I was reading it, but I was lying?
You know, I think this is one of those situations that we talked about where me answering this is actually going to be growing your OCD.
It's not. Just tell me. Do you think I might have lied?
I'm sorry OCD is bothering you right now, but I love you too much to grow your OCD.
But just tell me.
I'm not going to be talking to your OCD right now. So as you can see, my child was not happy. They're not going to be happy. That was probably a muted version of what you might get at home. But the key is to stick with it, because when we pull ourselves out of the reassurance seeking and when we pull ourselves away from participating in the OCD, we are one step further in them making long-term progress. They will do other compulsions. They will find other things to do that don't involve you, but we are the first barrier. We're the first step, and it's the one that we can control. So we start with that. I just want to end with saying that it doesn't mean mean that you can't offer reassurance. It doesn't mean that we don't talk to our kids about their struggles. It just means we don't answer those loopy questions that are on rinse and repeat that are compulsive. So I might say things like, I am so sorry that you're struggling, or I love you and I wish OCD wasn't bothering you right now. It doesn't mean that I go radio silent. I can offer reassurance, but when they're seeking OCD compulsive reassurance seeking, I'm not going to scratch the itch that OCD wants. Don't forget to have them watch this video next, and stay tuned for next Wednesday. I'll be back with another tip to help you support your child with OCD. Take care.